Hey, this is Jordan from Jersey, and this is what I thought of Lost Season 6 incredible 11th episode, Happily Ever After. That's right, after a long absence from the show, Desmond's back as of last week, and he gets his own centric episode, this one, and it was a doozy. Now, last week, YouTube user Dinsdale1 said I should be doing more connections from this season to past season, this episode to other episodes throughout the series, and quite frankly, he or she is right, and this is the perfect episode to start. Seriously, this episode was like a game of spot the Easter egg or spot the reference or whatever spot the game you're playing with your friends out there. But first, brief rundown of the plot. Charles Widmore and his amazing friend stick Desmond into a box with two giant electromagnets after it kills some other guy, and they send him across universes. Now, if any of this episode confused you, don't worry, I understand. My dad sitting next to me was also very confused. It's cool. Go back and watch my Why Lost Season 6 Has Not Created a Paradox video. From what this episode has shown, it looks like my theory might be exactly correct. So go back and watch that just to get an idea of what's going on. And if it's not corrected, at least it'll make you less confused for now, just in the wrong way. So they take the consciousness of Desmond A and send it across universes into Desmond B, who goes around meeting various people from the Lost Universe, including Charles Widmore B, his wife Eloise Hawking, who goes by Eloise Widmore B, Daniel Faraday Widmore, whatever last name he's going by at the given moment, Charlie Pace, Jack Shepard, and of course, Penny, the love of his life. Oh, and George Minkowski. You might not have recognized him as Desmond's driver, but he was the other guy flashing between the past and the present back in the episode The Constant. He died, so that's probably why you don't remember him. And in the grand tradition of the show naming characters after famous philosophers, tonight we got Penny Milton, so presumably her father or stepfather is a Mr. John Milton. So back in Timeline A, episodes and episodes ago, when in Charles Widmore's office, Charles Widmore had some McCutcheon whiskey, which was also prominently featured in this episode and quite a few others. It's a fictional brand, but back then, he told Desmond that one glass of the drink was worth more than his entire life. I'm paraphrasing, but something along those lines. And in Timeline B, nothing is too good for you, Desmond. In Timeline A, Desmond had premonitions of Charlie dying over and over again, and he kept saving his life until finally Charlie drowned. In Timeline B, he's also playing savior of sorts to Charlie, and Charlie almost drowns again. Seems like Charlie's role might be a bit more important than we thought when LAX aired at the beginning of the season, because he's been having glimpses of Timeline A, and he's the one who clues in Desmond, our reality-hopping tourist, of exactly what might be going on. Now, there were two phrases that recurred throughout the episode tonight. One was choice. You have a choice. I have a choice. This is an important choice. And the other was real. Is this real? That was real. What is reality? And those two things were at the center of this episode. Charlie's having visions of the other side, Desmond's having visions of the other side, and we already know that some of the other main characters, Jack and Kate, they know something is going on. It's called a deja vu moment. And it looks very similar to how I predicted that Desmond, although Desmond B, which I wasn't totally expecting, but Desmond B might have to reunite the passengers of 815 to course correct the timelines and bring them back to where they were supposed to be. Although how he's going to do that with the island at the bottom of the ocean, that's beyond me. Now, for you audiophiles out there, did the soundtrack of the episode seem overly fringy tonight? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the show, I love Michael Giacchino's work, but I was getting real flashes of another show that also deals with alternate realities throughout this episode. And yes, I understand that Giacchino does both show soundtracks, I'm not that dense. Now, it seems to me that the moment Desmond shook Penny's hand and he was transported back to Reality 1 seems like a clear indicator that Constance worked throughout time and realities, because that's the only reason I could divine from that particular action. Now, if Desmond B is going to be reconnecting the people of 815, what is Desmond A going to be doing? Rather, what would Desmond A have been doing had, Zombie Saeed not taken him off into the jungle? Something's not right there, but at least it seems that Desmond's aware of that, at least to some extent. Now, Eloise Widmore showed up against this episode. It seems like whatever reality you're in, she knows way more than she's letting on. Now, way back in the episode, Flashes Before Your Eyes, we were introduced to her and how she was aware of how time travel worked and the particular rules. It seems she's also aware of how interspatial and interdimensional, interreality travel works. I'm not sure how she knows that. It's understandable she knows the time travel from Desmond and everybody time traveling before, but how is she aware of the interreality travel? I'm interested to find out. Well, that's all I really had to say right now. This was a great episode. I still got to wrap my mind around it, as you do with most Desmond episodes, so it was a good thing. I can't wait for next week's episode. I know who it's about. I know the title. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it here, but it should be very interesting. And one of the last of the original cast who still hasn't had their Flash sideways this season. So we're counting down to the wire. And it's very exciting. So please subscribe to my video feed. Check out my comic reviews. Check out my other Lost videos. Don't forget that Lost Paradox video, the first Lost video I did. That's probably going to be very helpful if you were confused by this week's episode. So don't worry. Go back and watch that. Hopefully you'll understand all by the end. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Have a good one.